What's up everybody? Thanks for tuning into the video. This is going to be kind of an update video slash teardown video. What we're going to do is move a bunch of fish around in order to be able to tear this aquarium down. This is the 3-foot guppy breeding aquarium. You guys really loved this setup and you loved the piece of wood that's in here, but it's been set up for a long time. The combination of fish waste and the amount of fish that are in there, even though they're little tiny fish, you get a bunch of tiny fish, it's like having one big fish. So a lot of waste going on in here. I don't gravel vac and stuff, so that's up for discussion, but it has caused an algae problem that I cannot control anymore. So let's show you some close-ups of the aquarium and you'll see why we got to tear it down. So the issue that we're having in this aquarium is pretty easy to see once you get in a little bit closer. It is just infested with this hair style kind of algae. See this filter inlet right here, all clogged up. But this filter inlet here literally looks like this every single day. I have to take the thing apart and clean that out to get the flow to return. And it's just a disaster. Let me try and get some other close-up shots for you here. There's kind of a good image of how everything looks in the aquarium. It is infested, all of the plants. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to save all this Bucephalandra because it's just infested with this algae. Again, it's hard to see because I'm filming this at an angle. This aquarium sits in the rack kind of this way. So the glass distorts it a little bit for your view. I apologize for that. But you get the idea. It's totally infested in absolutely every area that you look. We come up and try and get some clearer views for you. You can see even the stuff that's immersed here with the water level being dropped a little bit. It's just everywhere. This stuff is absolutely everywhere. I don't even think I'm going to save the piece of wood. I'll try to pressure wash it, but yada, 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 we got to tear it down. Now, for the first time in their lives, they are hiding, but this aquarium is full of Endler guppies, and the fact that there's so many in there, I think, is what attributed to the problem. So they need more space to do what guppies do, and that's make more guppies. We're going to move them from this aquarium into this 75-gallon aquarium. So this was the 150 nanofish project, and it has some golden neons in it. It's got emerald eye rasboras in there. There's a couple of Phoenix rasboras in here. We had an issue with the breeder overseas that we got these from. So the survival rate was not great on the massive and very expensive order of fish that I placed. So I have been disappointed with this aquarium kind of from the get-go, to be honest with you. But I guarantee I have 150 of those little Endler guppies in there. So it's still the 150 nanofish aquarium. We're just going to change the fish out. And I think their coloration with the black bar Endlers there, they've got kind of the red and the black and the orange and the yellow. They kind of look really cool. So it should add a nice pop of color swimming around, a lot of activity in there. I'm going to keep the Amanos that are in here. And there are, let me see if I can get in. I'm sitting right down here, but little Corys. Can I get that little Cory in there? You can barely see him in the shadow, but there's a little Cory down there. We got a bunch of speckled Corys in here. There are some Florida flagfish in here, and they're impossible to catch. So what we have to do is drain the aquarium down to a very low level. There is a nice slope to this aquarium here, so when I drain the water, it should allow the fish to kind of collect in the front and make it easy for me to catch all the species. Then we're going to separate the species out. You'll see that later in the video, and we'll get all the fish out of here minus the algae eater and the Corys and the Amanos. They will stay. And then we'll start moving the guppies over. All right, we got the Phoenix rasboras over here in the right container. We got the golden neons over here in this container. We've got a bucket down here that you can't see. There we go, turn the brightness up. I have the emerald eye rasboras and Florida flagfish in this bucket here. We left our Corys in here. There's some there. A little baby guy swimming in the grass there. They've been breeding in here. There's a lot more Corys than I really thought were in here. There's a whole bunch of them over there, which is good. They keep the aquarium clean when we feed. I see I missed a Phoenix rasbora, which is something I was going to talk about in just a second. There is our, oh, there's another fish I missed. See, that's what I was going to discuss here in a sec. But here is our little algae eater. Let's try and get these two fish out of there and discuss the issue that I'm having. Okay, I got all those guys out, but as you can see, the grass here is very, very thick. This is Holanthium tenellum green, and the fish are so small that they can actually hide in there. So I'm going to wait like 5 minutes, check and see if any are swimming around. I thought I had a couple more than this lot here. So That's the problem we're going to have. Worst case scenario, we fill the aquarium back up and they come back up to the surface. We should be able to net 1 or 2 fish out fairly easily. All right, I know for sure there's one emerald eye rasbora still in there and I cannot find them. I've already started the RO water drip back into the aquarium to fill it up. We will be misting the plants periodically through this process, but refilling with RO 75 gallons is an all-day process. Not going to bore you with that. Let's go ahead and get all these fish into their new homes. Let's start with the Phoenix rasboras. This is Dragon Valley 1.0, and you can see, maybe if I can get them to focus, there's some chili rasboras in there. I really at first didn't want to mix the chilies and the Phoenix, but you know, I think it'll be okay. I don't know if they interbreed and mess up their patterns and stuff, but we can always get more if we want to do specific breeding. Maybe the Phoenix rasboras will also color up a little more when they're next to the chilies. I'm going to go ahead and grab these guys, drop them in, and all of my aquariums are room temperature, so we don't have to worry about, you know, shocking them with a temperature shock or anything. pHs or something might be a little different in the different aquariums, but fish are more adaptable and hardy than the hobby wants to make it out to be. Let's just say that. If they were that sensitive, you know, any change in water parameter via rain or something would kill off all the livestock. So guys don't need to worry too much about that. But your opinions, always fun to read. So let me know what you think about just dropping fish. Up next, we have the golden neons. They're going to go into the orange neocaridina breeding aquarium. This is a 3-foot bookshelf aquarium if you're new to the channel. And there are a bunch of little neocaridina shrimp down here. So could use a little fish action. It was just a shrimp breeding tank, but I don't sell shrimp that much anymore. So let's make it a aquarium that I enjoy viewing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy viewing this as well. It's actually going to get rescaped here pretty soon, but let's go ahead and drop these guys in. A little different process here because I don't have much room to get the container in. So it's kind of just a plop. There they go. Oh yeah, they're going to look good in there, just schooling around. I think that was the right choice for this aquarium. The golden neons seem to fit the theme. We'll let everybody get acclimated and we'll give you some cinematic shots at the end. Time to put the emerald eye rasboras into their new home. This is another 3-foot aquarium, but this is a 10-gallon bookshelf iwagumi. It is home to, well, it was been home to a couple different things, but currently it is a snail tank, which is going to be changed. And then we have some red neos in here. The little red neos were put in there to try and help clean this aquarium up. Subscribers of the channel are very familiar with this aquarium recently. So the next step after the video I just released is to add these cute little emerald eye rasboras. So there they go. Drop those guys in. I think they fit the kind of motif, if you will, or the layout of this aquarium being an iwagumi. They're going to school around, but be able to see or be seen in the rocks. Let me rephrase that. They're going to swim around in schools and will always be seen because of the iwagumi rock layout. There we go. That sounds better. So of course little guys are scared right now, but wow, they look really good actually with that light. This light is a Hygger Slim. The Hygger Slim light I just did a review on, and it has kind of a blue tone, but look at what it does to their eyes. That is amazing. The light looks really, really good with these fish. So that's a good pairing. All right, so we've got to deal with this disaster. Again, 3-foot aquarium, 22 gallons. Let's see. There are a ton of teeny tiny little itty bitty baby guppies, and I am not going to be able to get all of them out of there without having the tank pretty much empty. So we got a dilemma on our hands. I think what I have to do is, while the water is full, because there's baby guppies just hiding in all of these plants and algae and stuff. There's a couple of blue shrimp. I just saw one here. Focus camera. There we go. Might be able to see them hanging down right there in the dead center of your screen. So we got a lot of small critters in here. I think the way to approach this while the water is in is start pulling plants out and get it kind of as bare bones as possible. This is sitting in a fish rack, which doesn't have much space in between. Don't worry about the boxes here. That's for you guys later on the channel here. So there's not much space, and this aquarium is heavy, and I'm by myself. And so trying to pull this thing out is not the easiest of tasks. It was not easy to get it in there. So yeah, let's just start pulling some plants out. I'll save you the montage. And here we are an hour or so after removing all the plants. I actually had to wait a bit for the organics to settle out of the aquarium because there is so much waste in here, hence why we had the massive algae problem. There are a ton of guppies in here. I'm not going to even try to count them even after I catch them, but probably, I don't know, 150, maybe 200 if you include all little babies. There's a couple of shrimp, some blue Neos. You can barely see one down in the corner here. Oh, there's two of them right there. And there are some speckled cories in here. I love little speckled cories. So I'm going to drain the water out, hopefully to a point that I can slide this out of the rack a little bit here and then get the piece of wood out and then push all the substrate into a slope kind of from this area towards the back. That way I can collect all the fish in one little capture zone down here, like you saw in the previous clips. So again, I'm going to spare you the montage and stuff. I know this video is super long already, so let's get these fish out. Did forget to mention, here are two different buckets. In this bucket we have all of the plants that came out of the aquarium. They do have some algae in them, but I've shaken them off before and like the algae just kind of comes out of the leaves. So I'm going to try and save them because I want to use them in the rebuild. And over here we have the plants that I unfortunately have to throw away. We have the S. repens carpet. There's some Java moss in there and just plants that were super, super thick with algae. There was no way we're going to be able to clean them. Mostly the S. repens. I have plenty of these plants in other tanks. So if we lose plants, it's not a huge deal. I have plenty to go around. Okay, back to draining this aquarium. And I'll give you an update when we try and get the wood out. Alright, I've got the aquarium pulled out a little bit here, and it's about time to start catching fish. I don't know if we'll be able to see anything in here. No, you can't see anything. Well, that's kind of the point of why I just have to catch these guys, because it is near impossible for you guys to see anything in this cloudy water. Wait a second, is that an Amano? There's an Amano shrimp in here. I totally forgot I even put an Amano shrimp in there. Okay, well, let's get all the livestock out of here. Shows you kind of what happens when you have a lot of aquariums. Let's get all these hundreds and hundreds of guppies out. I'll show you how many we got, get the wood pulled out, and clean the tank. Alright guys, here is the aquarium after cleaning out all of the plants, getting the wood out, getting all the rocks out, getting the livestock out. I know you guys love to see this dirty, mucky stuff like filter cleanings and things, so here's your shot of the dirty, nasty, mucky aquarium. I'll even give you a little ASMR. You love that, don't you? All right, now here's our piece of wood. As you can see, pretty nasty. Probably going to clean it, see if we can reuse it, but I don't think we're going to reuse it in this project. We got our 75-gallon here where all of our critters are going to go. The filling via RO drip is going pretty good. It's above the back of the plants here on this side, so at least all the carpeting plants are good. I still have to mist frequently all of the immersed plant growth here. You can see I've put the lid on, so we're a little foggy trying to keep the moisture in. And here's all of our little creatures in one specimen container. It is a mucky mess, and I would not want to live in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to hang them in this bucket right here. I was going to hang them on the side, but now thinking about it, what I'm going to do is actually put them in the bucket here. And we're going to do a drip overflow with the aquarium water that they're going into. We're going to drip that into the specimen container here very slowly, but it'll overflow and kind of clear their water out, give them a little bit better chance to breathe instead of trying to suck all that mud through their gills. There we go. We've got a drip line coming down and it's going into the bucket there. And since the specimen container's at the bottom of the bucket, once the water fills up to the top, if these little guys jump out, not a big deal. In fact, I'm probably going to put some water in the bottom of the bucket now that I'm thinking about it in case they jump out while the bucket is dry. So we'll let these guys acclimate for literally a couple of hours, and then that way we can just dump them right into the aquarium. I know it doesn't come in on camera, but I am soaking wet. It was raining outside when I was pressure washing this stuff, but you know, you're gonna get wet anyway, so it was worth it. But I'm soaking wet. However, look at this piece of wood. Look at the colors that we got out of this after pressure washing it. Not a speck of algae left on it, and the colors are just amazing. Look at this red tone that's in there. That is awesome. I guess after soaking in the aquarium for about a year, all the different striations and variations on this wood kind of came out once you blasted all of the black muck off of it. What an amazing piece of wood. And we did the rock as well. So the rocks, no way you can tell. Come on, camera. There we go. Absolutely zero algae on the rocks at all. 100% blasted off. Now what I'm going to do is spray all this stuff down with peroxide just to make sure there's no little algae spores or nothing. But I spent 30 minutes high pressure blasting these things, very close range. So if an algae spore survived, it kind of deserves to grow again, I guess. I'm now going to try and salvage the plants. First step in doing that is taking the plant and shaking it out in the sink here. I have found a better way to do this. I used it on the boost and it worked pretty good. Just hit it with the old sprayer. So that seems to be working out a lot better, quicker, easier, and I don't have to worry about algae floating around in the sink that's going to get back onto the plants. Now what I'm going to do that I've rinsed all the plants is to make sure that we don't have any algae spores left in here, because obviously there's no way that my little sink sprayer is going to get every little itty bitty tiny piece of algae off of there. In fact, that could be a piece right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a hydrogen peroxide bath. What I have done is I filled up the bucket here with, I don't know, maybe 3 inches of water, something like that. And then I'm going to take this entire bottle of peroxide, we're going to dump it into the bucket, and then we're going to soak our plants. So it's not going to be as strong as spraying the plants with peroxide, which I do quite frequently. And any of your harder leaf plants like Anubias and Boos, they do okay. These softer leaves like this lily here, it may kind of react to the hydrogen peroxide and may kill off some of these leaves. I don't know. But I'm not 100% worried about this plant. I'll reuse it if it survives. If not, not a big deal for me personally. So what we're going to do is crack open this here bottle. You can see it's a brand new bottle, so I'm not fibbing about doing the whole bottle. I'm going to throw the cap away. I'm going to go up to our bucket, dump the entire thing of peroxide into the water. There we go. Throw it away. And we're just going to take all of our plants. Let's give it a swish first. Swish it around. Take all of our plants and drop them back into the bucket here. You probably would like some light so you can see what's going on. Hey, is that better for you? It's amazing when you actually put light on whatever you're filming. All right, so all the plants going back in there. There's a couple of little pieces of fern in there as well, some Anubias. That stuff will just sit and soak. What'll be interesting is if we come back and we see any of these plants bubbling, then we know there was still some algae on the plants. And the lilies I'll put in here for a little bit, but probably in about 10 minutes or so, I'll take the lily out just to try and save it. I mean, we don't want to intentionally kill any plant. Okay, now we just wait. So literally within like 30 seconds here, I'm seeing a bunch of bubbles popping on the surface. I think it's coming in on camera. You can see all the bubbles popping and you can hear it fizzing. Let me stick the mic down here and see if I can amplify it for you. So I don't know if that even came in on the mic till I edit the video, but you can hear the fizzing, you can see the bubbles, so it's doing something. I've moved into cleaning the filter and I have thoroughly washed everything, of course by hand, rinsed everything off, soaked it in hot water, and now it is in a bleach dip. It is a 1:10 ratio of just your standard household chlorine bleach. We have the biomedia in there as well. We've got, of course, all the lily pipes and stuff is in there. All the sponges, give them a little squish. Just make sure we're getting that bleach inside the sponge itself. Whenever you've got an algae-ridden aquarium, you often forget to clean and de-algae the filter. Those little algae spores, they'll go right back into that next tank. So I've got the filter case over here, filter housing, filter box, whatever. We'll get just a little bleach in that as well. Make sure that we kill everything down inside of any component. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, geez, you're not going to be able to use the filter again because you're just going to put bleach back into the aquarium. Well, two things. First, I have SeaChem Prime, which is my favorite dechlorinator. So once this stuff soaks for, I don't know, I usually let it soak about an hour. and then I will rinse it thoroughly in hot water, and then I will fill it back up with hot water again and put some SeaChem Prime in there, let it sit for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, and then we let everything thoroughly air dry. Chlorine evaporates, so once everything thoroughly dries, the bleach is completely gone anyway. I don't have plans to use this filter right away, aka tonight, so we will be fine with the chlorine dip, and we will also have peace of mind that our filter doesn't have algae in it. Update time. We have removed the plants from their hydrogen peroxide bath and put them in this holding tank right here. Also in the holding tank is the Florida flagfish and one of the little Corydoras. He's going to get a couple more friends, don't worry, but this is going to be the holding tank for the new build in the aquarium we just tore apart. All we got left to do now is take these guppies out of the bucket and put them into their new 75-gallon aquarium, but we got to let it fill up a little more first. Okay, the aquarium's not quite filled back up yet, but it is bedtime, so we've got to get these fish in here so that they can kind of sit through the night and acclimate themselves, get more comfortable. Tomorrow morning we will finish filling the aquarium. So let's grab a net, let's get these fish in the net and then in the aquarium. Well, they all seem to be doing fairly okay for now. They're actually over by the water flow, which is funny because that's the coolest water coming into the aquarium right now. But they all seem to be happy. Guppies are pretty hardy, so I don't think we'll have any losses. Again, the water temp is slightly cooler than I would like them to be, but they will adapt overnight. And again, in nature, you're going to have cold rains and stuff that change the water temp. I can tell by their discoloration that they're a little bit stressed, but they've been through a lot right now. So we'll let them acclimate overnight and we'll finish up in the morning with a little bit of an outro. It's the next day and let's check in on the fish and see how everybody's getting along. We'll start up top here with the Emerald Eye Rasboras in the 10-gallon 3-foot Iwagumi. And they seem to be happy, content, settled in, no losses or anything crazy like that. Just takes them a while to get used to their new environment. I think they look pretty good in this setup here. They match the Iwagumi style pretty good. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be tearing this aquarium down, but they'll look good in whatever we do next. Moving down to the orange Neocaridina shrimp tank, another 3-foot aquarium again, 22 gallons. And we have the golden neons in here, which they seem to fit with the orange shrimp pretty good. Kind of keeps the same color variant all the way through. They're kind of in two different little schools here. We've got some that hang out over here. We've got some that hang out over here. There's another group in the middle. They schooled up pretty good when we put them in yesterday, but today they are spreading out and just becoming more comfortable, so that's good to see. The Phoenix Rasboras here seem to have taken immediately to their new aquarium. They're socializing with the Chili Rasboras, and everybody seems to be having a good time over here. So happy to see those guys. A little more action in this aquarium now too, which is good because there's so much plant mass in here. It's hard when there's only a few fish. So a lot more activity. This aquarium is looking good with the new addition. And then the 75-gallon here, you can see we're still filling it up. It's going to be another hour or two probably to top this off. 75 gallons of drip RO takes forever. But what we want to see is our happy and healthy little guppy colony over school. A school of our guppies over here. They are adapted. They're doing well. The temperature has come back up to room temp, so they are much more active now. Their colors are back. If I can get in here and get some colors. They're a little more skittish in this aquarium than previously because, well, it's a new environment for them. But if I can get the camera to focus on them, they're hard to film. They really are hard to film. That's about the best shot I'm going to get of them, guys. This camera is trying to focus on the plants and then all the little fish, and there's just too much to focus on in here. But you guys are familiar with black bar Endler guppies, though, so they're very beautiful little fish, and I do enjoy them a lot. I think once they breed and multiply in here, we're going to have thousands of guppies in the 75-gallon. May look pretty cool. With all this hiding space and stuff, the breeding should go, well, rampant, to be honest with you. Guppies like to breed anyway, but when they've got more spaces to hide, they go crazy. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. I know it's kind of long, but it does take a long time to transfer and tear down an algae-ridden aquarium that has that many fish in it, and you're putting it in an aquarium that already has fish. So that's what it takes. As you can see, our aquarium is clean, our hardscape is clean, and I'm about ready to build a new home for the, Florida flagfish. So if you want to see the rebuild of this aquarium, stay tuned. It's going to be a little bit different, and I think you're going to like it. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Subscribe if you want to. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, all that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.